Hello everybody. In this video, we will try to understand different cleansing techniques of crystals. See, cleansing crystals is all about removing the negative, stagnant and unwanted energy that the crystals already have. So you might be asking how they would have some negative energy, because when you are using them they would accumulate some, right? So they may have absorbed and they may have absorbed some negative energies, so restoring them to their natural balanced vibration is the most important thing. So just you think of it like giving your phone a restart when it becomes slow, right? So what if you don't restart your mobile and it is slow, then what happens? You may have some kind of unwanted experience, right? So the device is fine, but it needs to refresh to function at its best. So that's why you need to cleanse your crystals, and there are different methods of cleansing crystals. It's something like the first one, so we'll try to discuss them in detail. The first one is running water. So how can you cleanse with running water? See, hold your crystal under natural running water. So you might be asking, generally we do it with tap water, that is also good, but the most preferable one is the natural flow, the places where they have very natural flow, very fresh water. That's something like a river, because the river water is absorbing lot and lot of sun rays as well, right? So that is treated as the best one, but tap water or any stream of water is considered as a good thing. So how much time you need to cleanse it? See, for a few minutes, if you hold your crystal under natural running water like tap water or river water or any stream of water, is a good thing. That by that you can of course cleanse your crystal. It's just like washing your hands after working with some, some sticky things, because see, water removes the energetic dirt from crystals. So just imagine your crystal as a kind of sponge. After absorbing your stress or worries, it becomes heavy now, right? So placing it under a flowing stream is like squeezing the sponge so that it releases all the negative things, all that heaviness that flows inside the crystal will be removed when you keep it under this running water. So the first one is running water. So you might be thinking the crystals, this whole stuff is something new, but it is not new. If you see idol worship, sometimes you can clearly feel that the crystal cleansing methods are similar to what we do with idols, right? Another important thing, right? Another best thing to cleanse your crystal is moonlight bath, we say. See, place your crystals under the light of the full moon. It's only full moon, not the normal moon. That means the moon that you see on the day of Paurnami, the full moon day. It's not the moon that you're seeing on some less moony days, right? So place your crystals under the light of the full moon overnight. You just keep it under the moonlight, so it will be cleansed. See, you can think of it like charging your phone at night, right? So the moonlight charges the crystal with gentle calming energy. So ancient healers believed the full moon was like a grandmother. She takes away what you no longer need and fills you with some kind of nurturing energy. So your crystal rests under this moonlight. That moonlight care, it is a kind of renewed crystal, renewed energy the crystal would have. Another one is, so you might be asking, you're keeping it under moonlight, why not under sunlight? Yes, you can keep it, you can cleanse it with sunlight as well. See, leave your crystals in sunlight for a few hours, then it will be cleansed. It's something like putting your clothes out in the sun after washing, right? So the sunlight not only dries them but also makes them fresh and warm, right? So similar to that, you can clearly see when you keep your crystal under the sunlight for a few hours, it will be cleansed. It's something like, see, I had a friend and once told me, actually she left her citron in the morning sun and she felt her office felt brighter that day. That is the change that she observed. So it was as if the sun had stored itself in that little crystal and carried light indoors when you are carrying that crystal with you. So it's sometimes, it's not recommended for all the crystals to kept under sunlight. Some crystals like amethyst can fade in direct sunlight, so short exposure is best for them, and better you cleanse them with moonlight or water. So you might be asking, there are only 3 methods like running water, moonlight and sunlight. Only these 3 are the methods? No, there are other methods as well. The method is called as smudging. So what is it? Basically, you just pass the crystal through the smoke of burning incense. In India they use what is called as agarbatti. So that agarbatti that releases some smoke, just now you can relate it with some idol worship, right? So when you're doing idol worship, you do all these things by which there would be some kind of cleansing happening. A similar thing you do here. So it's nothing but using a kind of agarbatti. So you can think of this incense like a refresh button in a stuffy room. So agarbattis are also kept in some rooms, right? Because the incense can make the room very fresh. It clears the air and lifts the mood, right? So let's see, a healer once used this particular agarbatti smoke on a crystal necklace worn by her anxious client. So after the smudging process, after this agarbatti or any kind of incense, there are different incense related things that we'll discuss in some other video, but the common one is agarbatti. So what happened was the client described the necklace as feeling lighter. Now after the smudging process, once she wore that particular necklace, she felt the necklace lighter and comforting as well. So the heaviness, what I'm telling you is, every crystal deposits some negative things when you keep on using it. Now it absorbed, it has some heaviness. Now you need to make it lighter, right? So for all this, you need these cleansing techniques. Another important thing is, see, you're basically trying to cleanse your crystal with panchabhutas, the 5 elements of the nature. All right. So the moonlight, the sunlight, it is actually light basically, and running water, here you're using water, and what you're using in smudging, that is air, that is smoke basically. And another important technique is the earth burial. So bury your crystal in the soil for 24 hours or more, then that's it, your crystal is cleansed. So just as the tide people visit their hometown to reconnect with their roots, crystals return to the mother earth to reset, because crystals you get it from the mother earth. So the earth now is cleansing the crystal very clearly, right? So if you want to hear about the experiences of different clients, you can say, see, a man buried his black tourmaline in his garden after a tough year. So when he dug it up a week later, he felt it was budging in his hand, kind of. It's something like as if the earth had hugged it back to strength. It's something like he really felt the strength in the uh, in that black tourmaline. So it's something like, you know, this is all energies. You need to feel it, you need to experience it. It's a kind of slow process. If you're in hurry, and if you're just thinking it in a faster manner, you may not be able to experience or feel it. But when you observe it a bit slowly, then yes, you can feel the energies, you can understand the difference before cleansing and after cleansing, right? So another important, and so many people do it, and people say it is one of the best cleansing techniques, that is with salt water. you know so place your crystal in a bowl of sea salt or salt water for a few hours, then just see the negativeness is gone from the crystals. It's just like, salt is used to preserve food and cleanse wounds. It draws out negativity from crystals. So see, if you observe the ancient stories, sailors once carried crystals with them. When storms passed, these particular, stones, after they had soaked them in seawater, believing the ocean would reset the stones after absorbing their fear, they observed that yes, the crystals actually absorbed their fear, and after that the sea water is able to cleanse this particular, because seawater is a kind of salt water. So the sailors observed, they were carrying the crystals with them. They had some fear. They understood that some kind of fear that they had, before using the crystals. So before using the crystals, they had some kind of fear, but when they are carrying the crystals, they observed they still had some fear, but the fear has some balance. You're getting it? So there's a kind of balance they observed, and then they kept it under seawater. In seawater, yes, now the crystals, they felt the crystals previously absorbed their fear. Now again, after using the salt water, they are cleansed. You're getting it? So I just want to tell you, the sailors used to uh, go by the sea water without crystals initially, but after some time they started using these crystals, and now they observed that the crystals are balancing their fear. So it's something like, when you intuitively observe it, then only you can feel it. So they understood the crystals are able to balance their fear, and after that they they observed the crystals absorbed their fear to some extent, and then they cleansed this particular crystals with seawater. As seawater is salt water, it's able to absorb the negativeness of the crystals. Now the crystals are again light, they are cleansed. So it's a kind of observation. You might be hearing a lot of stories about salt, right? Salt can absorb negative energy. This is one of the most important things that humans, invented, you can say. Because by this kind of, uh, things only, they understood that salt can absorb the negative energy. You're getting it? So salt has that capacity. It's once again it's proved, right? So this is one of the important things, salt. Even in lot of Indian houses, they use salt to remove the negative energy from you. They call it the name disti or dristi, some people say. There's nazar, people say, right? So in order to remove that negative energy, they generally use the salt, the dry salt generally, the crystal salt they use, right? So that is the best thing. And then generally see, there's a some crystals they dissolve in water, like selenite. You take the crystal selenite, so it dissolves in water. So better you use some other techniques to cleanse selenite, because you can use smoke for selenite, right? So there are different crystals, different properties, so you can use one of these cleansing techniques based on the properties of the crystal. Now another important thing is the sound. So in Vedic tradition, or in India, means in Bharat, they give a lot of importance to sound. They believe the universe was also born out of the sound, right? So it's something like, sound is nothing but your chanting, or the bells that you see in the temple. In the temple you see bell, right? That is also a kind of cleansing. The chanting, the mantras. So this is all, part of idol worship, right? So you surround the crystal with sound vibrations using your chantings, or even singing bowls you can use, the bells you can use, even chanting Om is just good enough to cleanse a crystal. It's just like shaking a dusty blanket, the sound vibrations shake away the stagnant energy. That is the fundamental belief, and it works as well. So in temples you can clearly see priests chant mantras daily, right? And crystals placed near them become programmed with those sacred sounds, like a you just take a USB stick and you can fill it with whatever you want, right? You can fill it with something. Just like that, the crystals can be filled with the positive energies of these mantras. So that is the most important thing that you can see in the idol worship as well. And the visualization is the another important technique. It is another energy cleansing technique. Let's hold the crystal in your hand, close your eyes, and visualize a bright white light surrounding it. So that is also good enough. So if you have enough power to imagine, to visualize, that can also dissolve the heaviness of your crystal. But it's up to you how much visualization energy you have. If you do not have much visualization energy, right, then just go with the sunlight, moonlight, salt water, or the stream of water, or the smudging, that is with smoke like agarbatti, and chanting mantras. With those you can cleanse it, right? So these are the famous techniques, right, to cleanse your crystal. So basically water washes away, like rinsing dirty hands, and moonlight charges gently like sleeping under grandma's care. And whereas you just see the sunlight energize it like a morning boost, how you feel in the morning, right? So, and smudging, that is using smoke that can clear, like opening windows in a stale room, how you feel when you open windows in a stale room. So the similar energy that the crystal can feel, and it will get cleansed. And earth burial grounds is something like going back to your roots, right? That can nurture and nourish the crystal. And salt is like detox bath. Even some people use salt in bath as well, right? That can remove the negative energy. That's for sure. It's 100% sure that salt works a lot. And the sound, the chanting of mantras, they can act like shaking dust off. You just shake your blanket that how it removes all the dust and all. Similar to that, chanting mantras can remove the heaviness of crystals and it makes it light, also charges it up with some positive energy. And visualization is a kind of reprogramming, like guiding a child with love, right? So also something like you're guiding your crystal by your visualization. So these are the fundamental techniques of cleansing a crystal. We'll see if there are some advanced methods. Of course, there are some advanced methods, but only after practice you can feel them. If I tell them now, you may think what he is talking. Actually, it's something like you may think it's all kind of, it may not work kind of feeling you may get. So those advanced techniques we will talk after some days. And you may think, what happens if I do not cleanse my crystals and keep it at home? Just something like, just I bought it and I kept it at home. What happens? See, what happens if you don't cleanse your crystals depends on how much energy they have absorbed so far and what role they play in your life. That is the most important thing. See, crystals are like sponges, like mirrors, or like your companions. See, they interact with your energy and the energy of your space as well. So if you never cleanse them, they don't break, of course, but they may lose their sparkle. They may lose their effectiveness or even start radiating the heaviness they have absorbed. And that's not a good thing. So imagine never cleaning your glasses. You have some eyeglasses, you're not at all cleaning them. How you feel? See, over time some kind of smudges build up and you can't see clearly through them. And the glasses, of course the glasses still work, but your vision is blurry, right? So similar to that, if you don't cleanse your crystals, they would become heavy, they would not be working better. And then, so see, a clear quartz that isn't cleansed may feel very, very cloudy. It's kind of the energy of that quartz is very, very cloudy. You pick it up but don't sense clarity or sharpness of it, right? So if you do not cleanse them, they may not be much useful. You should cleanse them. And let's say, see, a woman kept her amethyst on her bedside table for years without cleansing it. See, at first she slept peacefully, but after a while she started waking up anxious. When a friend actually suggested cleansing it in moonlight, yes, her sleep immediately improved. You're getting it? So it's just like cleaning your eyeglasses. Just think in those terms, then you can understand better. Let us take a sponge. If you want to understand it better, a kitchen sponge absorbs water and soap, right? When you clean your bowls and all. See, if you never squeeze it out, what happens? It starts smelling bad and it cannot absorb anymore. That's what happens when you do not cleanse your crystal. The similar thing. See, let's take block tourmaline. Block tourmaline absorbs negative vibes. We discussed in the first video, right? In the previous video. If never cleansed, instead of protecting you, it may just sit full and dull. It has a lot of heaviness. It has a lot of negative energy and you're not cleansing it. So it has just become very dull. So just understand, see, a healer once, if you observe, let's say a healer once told his client who wore the black tourmaline bracelet for protection. At first, she felt safe in stressful meetings or any gatherings and all. But months later, she started feeling drained. So the healer smudged the bracelet with the smoke. Now the client said, yes, now again she is feeling that protection and all. So you got it? So it absorbs all the heaviness and if it is not cleaned, if it is not cleansed, then it still have that heaviness and it would not become lighter and it would not work properly for you. It's something like a battery without recharge, right? So you need to check if you have some crystal and if you're not cleansing it for a long time, you try to cleanse it now. You just try to observe the energies of the crystals. If you feel that it is not working, then it means the battery is gone. It's a battery without recharge, right? So just think of your phone. If you never recharge it, the apps don't run well and eventually the battery dies, right? So similar to that. So especially the crystals like citrine or there are some other crystals similar to citrine, right? So that's something like they're batteries of motivation, you can say. What if you do not cleanse them? You expect them to give some motivation, right? They may not give you, right? They may feel like they're out of charge. You need to cleanse them, then only they can get recharged. So take the example of citrine here. Citrine, let us say a student is keeping citrine his or her desk, at her desk, and she is feeling very much energized when citrine is present, but after some time over the years, as she is not cleansing it, she is not feeling that energy again, right? But when she is charging it with sunlight for a few hours, yes, she is getting the motivation again because the crystal is recharged now. So just imagine a mirror in a smoky room. It reflects not only your face but also the smoke stains, right? If it is completely filled with that smoke stains and it is never cleaned, just imagine what you can see in the mirror. You're getting it? Are you feeling it? Right? So some people have some relationship breaks or love is broken for them. Then what they do generally, they will use rose quartz, right? They hold rose quartz so that the heartbreak energies are cleansed. Of course, initially it is working fine, but if you're not cleansing it, then what happens? One day the rose quartz would not work. It would not cleanse your heartbreaks. Then again you may feel heavy, right? So you should cleanse your crystal. That's what I'm telling you again and again. So you have to, any crystal that you have to cleanse it, at least with running water, at least with sunlight. Keep it under sunlight. If it fades, if sunlight fades the crystal, keep it under moonlight. At least cleanse it with running water. At least use some agarbatti, right? Just imagine never cleaning your living room, how you feel. At first a little dust doesn't matter, but over time what happens? It's a kind of clutter builds in your room and the room feels very, very heavy and you don't feel very comfortable in your room. Getting it? So some people have so many crystals I saw, but they never they cleanse them. Having many crystals at home without cleansing, it's something like you're filling your house with some kind of heavy energies. It's not at all recommended. You're getting it? So crystals are not just some pretty rocks. You may think they are pretty rocks, but they are not. They hold the energies I'm telling repeatedly. They interact with energy. They interact with your energies. They interact the energies of the visitors of your house, your environment. If you do not cleanse them, they may lose the effectiveness. They may, they become old and they filled up with some heavy emotions, right? So some crystals, they may release those heavy energies also, the stuck energies back into your own space, and that is not at all recommended. You're getting it? how you feel when you have some kind of dirty laundry in your house. How you feel it? You're not comfortable. You're feeling that energy, right? When you have some lot of dirty laundry in your house, you're going near to that place. How you feel? How you feel that energy? It's not a comfortable energy. So better cleanse them regularly. And how often you should clean? Weekly you should cleanse your crystal, but at least monthly you should cleanse it, right? They're not just decorative rocks, they're not some pretty rocks. They hold the energies, I'm telling repeatedly, right? So you have to cleanse your crystals so that they work better for you. Thanks for watching this video.